Greetings everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you all for tuning in. On this video I want to take a look at Skid Row and rank their albums from my least favorite to my favorite. So we've got 6 studio albums, plus I'm going to count the United World Rebellion EPs. So we've got 8 albums overall to look at. I, however, am not going to count the Beside Ourselves EP because that was just cover songs, so I decided not to include that one. So 8 albums to take a look at, and something has to come in at the bottom, and for me, that's going to be this one right here. Coming in at the bottom, I have the United World Rebellion EP. This was released in 2013, I think, maybe 14, somewhere in that vicinity. It's also the only one that I don't own. It's alright. The only song on this one that I'm really that crazy about is Let's Go, and even Let's Go, I really won't even put up with like my favorite Johnny Solinger era songs, even, to be honest. You got King of Demolition, which kind of feels like a poor man's Living on a Chain Gang. This Is Killing Me is decent. Overall, it's just okay. It's just there for me. I remember when this one dropped, there's I guess a reason I didn't go out and buy it right away. It just was kind of there, so I just never got into this one that much. I don't know that I have anything like really bad or negative to say about it. It's just more of a non-factor to me than anything. So at the bottom of the barrel, I've got the United World Rebellion EP. In the number 7 spot, I'm going to go with Thick Skin, released in 2003. First album with Johnny Solinger. And may God rest his soul, Johnny Solinger. I never really cared for his fit with Skid Row. Decent singer, you know, I like him outside of Skid Row. I never liked the way that he fit with Skid Row. To me, it was not a good fit. This album, little hit and miss for me. I guess my biggest criticism of Thick Skin is that I don't feel that this album really has much of that Skid Row personality. It kind of feels like an album that about anybody could have put out. Not that it's bad. It's not bad. It's just it just feels a little bit, dare I say, generic to me. I do like the song Ghost. I like Swallow Me. Born a Beggar's really good. Thick as a Skin's good. See You Around is good. I do like Hitting a Wall quite a bit. It's probably my favorite song on the album, actually. And I will say that I Remember You Too is horrid. I don't like that. I'm sick to death of the original version, but I do not like this one at all. So, otherwise, it's all right. It's just not at all what I'm going to reach for Skid Row. In the number 6 spot, I've got Rise of the Damnation Army, the second United World Rebellion EP. This one was released in let's see if it's on here somewhere, 2014? I want to say the first one is in 13, and this one is 14. I could be wrong, though. Yeah, I'm not seeing a date. But I do think this one definitely has the stronger material on it. I pretty much like all 5 of these songs, actually. The fact that the first one didn't really resonate with me is kind of why it took me so long to get around to checking out the second one. And when I finally got around to checking it out, I was actually quite surprised, because I do like these songs here. We Are the Damned is really good. Give It the Gun's good. Catch Your Fall's good. And I love the last 2 songs, Damnation Army and 0 Day. And of course, you got the 2 covers tacked on at the end of it. But definitely, to me, the stronger of the 2 EPs. I do like this one quite a bit. I'm not going to put it much higher than this, but I do like this one a lot. So in the number 6 spot, I've got Rise of the Damnation Army.
I said, hey man, there's something you wanna know. Well, I'll tell you, Park Avenue leads to Skid Row. Well, now look and see, it's not only me.
All right, in the number 5 spot, I've got the debut album Skid Row, released 1989, and it's time for me to get trashed in the comment section. This is a good album. I'm not saying that it isn't. I bought this album in early 2005, and for the first 2 months, I listened to this album pretty much constantly. This was definitely like my most played album for a couple months in between getting this and getting Slave to the Grind. And when I bought Slave to the Grind, I don't think I ever heard this album quite the same way again. Like I said, it's not a bad album. It's just, I don't know. Ever since I heard Slave to the Grind and I heard what Skid Row became right after this, this one just never hit me the same way again. Some of the highlight songs on here for me, Big Guns is a good song. I see a lot of people trash Can't Stand the Heartache. I don't mind that one. I think that one's decent. Piece of Me is good. 18 in Life is awesome. Youth Gone Wild, of course, is the anthem. One of my favorite deep cuts on here is Here I Am. I love that one. Great riff in that song. Making a Mess is cool. Midnight Tornado is great. I could do without ever hearing I Remember You Again, and I could do without Rattlesnake Shake. Otherwise, solid album. Really good album. But I just love where Skid Row went after this a lot more. So, in the number 5 spot for me, Skid Row's debut album.
If I want it all, then I'll get it all. Do I need it all? I need nothing.
In the number 4 spot, my upset, unpopular pick, probably other than putting the debut album right behind this, Revolutions Per Minute, released in 2006. This is the first Skid Row album released in my time as a Skid Row fan. I came into the band kind of early 2005. This one was released toward the end of 06. And I will even admit that this album objectively is probably not that good. The songwriting is fairly simplistic. The lyrics are really weird and questionable in many places. I get why this album is not popular, but I'll be damned, I just love it for some reason. I don't know why. I've always dug it. And still to this day, I jam to this one often enough. I think Disease is pretty awesome. I think Nothing is probably the best song of the Johnny Solinger era, in my opinion. I do like the cover Strength. I do like the country songs on here, like When God Can't Wait and You Lie. I dig them. I ain't gonna, Shut Up Baby, I Love You. Cool riff, kind of a bland song otherwise, but the riff is really cool. Love Is Dead is good. Let It Ride is good. Pulling My Heart Out From Under Me is good. So I like it. I may be the only human being on earth who feels that way, but Revolutions Per Minute, I don't think is, at least for me, I don't think it's bad. I would say maybe it's a guilty pleasure, but it comes in the number 4 spot for me.
No one's too big for me. I want my friends to see. All my mouths just hear me now. No motherfucker's gonna tell us how. No one's too big for me. I want the world to see. There's no time for waiting around.
In the number 3 spot, let's go with the most recent album, The Gang's All Here, released in 2022. This time we've got Eric Gromwell fronting the band, and man, oh man, does this guy not make me not miss Sebastian Bach. I gotta be honest. These guys, they will seemingly do anything other than reunite with Sebastian. And on one hand, I don't know that I can blame them because Sebastian seems like a completely insufferable personality at times. But man, they had the perfect guy right here, Eric Gromwell. So left the band for his health reasons and for whatever else. I certainly wish him the best. But I really enjoyed his output here with Skid Row. I think this is a tremendous album, and Eric Gromwell's vocals are just phenomenal. Tons of killer songs in here. Hell or High Water is awesome. The Gang's All Here is a lot of fun. Not Dead Yet, it's one of my personal favorites. Time Bomb, Resurrected, Nowhere Fast. And probably my favorite song on the album, Tear It Down. Great tune. I really like this one. I think they put out a heck of a great album here. I wish we could get more with Eric Gromwell fronting Skid Row, but looks like that's not going to happen. So enjoy this one, I guess, while it lasted, because they did give us a pretty darn good album with Eric. So in the number 3 spot for me, I'm going to go with The Gang's All Here. In the number 2 spot, I'm going to go with, in my opinion, the fairly underrated Subhuman Race. The last album that features Sebastian Bach on vocals, and maybe it waited a little too long after Slave to the Grind. And by 1995, I don't know that anybody really cared about Skid Row anymore, but they managed to put out a pretty heavy, pretty awesome album, in my opinion. I've really grown to love this one. I found it a little abrasive the first time that I heard it, but over the years I've really grown to love pretty much every song on here. My Enemy is an awesome opener. Fire Sign is a great song, probably one of the more accessible songs on the album too. Bonehead, really, really punky and in your face. Beat Yourself Blind is cool. Eileen is cool. Remains to Be Seen. Subhuman Race, another one of those sort of short, punky, to the point songs. Frozen, Into Another, another one of the more accessible tracks on here. Breaking Down, the ballad, love that song. Iron Will, top to bottom, I think this is a great album, and to me, it's not terribly far behind my number 1. So, Subhuman Race, to me, is a fairly close second. Subhuman Race may be a fairly close second, but it is chasing one of my favorite albums of all time, and that is Slave to the Grind, released in 1991. This album blew me away the first time I heard it, and it blew the first album away the first time I heard it, to the point where the debut album now kind of sits back in the number 5 spot, for me at least. But I love this album. I think this is a fantastic record. To me, this is a straight masterpiece as far as I'm concerned. Monkey Business, the title track Slave to the Grind, sort of borderline thrashy, heavy and aggressive. The Threat is a great song. Living on a Chain Gang is another incredible tune. Riot Act, Mud Kicker, and of course the ballads on here. The 3 ballads are amazing. Not Psycho Love. Quicksand Jesus, In a Darkened Room, and Wasted Time. To me, if there's any downer moments on here, it would be probably Get the F Out, which I find to be just a little immature. It's not a terrible song by any means, and thankfully it's short, so it doesn't really overstay its welcome. It is listenable in the context of the album, but I'm pretty much never going to go for that song in of itself. And then you've got, to me, Psycho Love and Creepshow are decent tunes. I think they're good songs, but not highlights for me. They flow nicely on the album, but everything else on here is just pretty much straight up metal masterpiece as far as I'm concerned. So let me know in the comments below how you would rank the Skid Row catalog. If you like this kind of content, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more videos like this in the future, and I will catch you next time.